Hello, I'm Chukwebuka Ike, and welcome to Now Streaming Show this morning. It's a show coming to you live from the capital city of Abuja in the studios of the Advent Cable Network Nigeria. And that Now Streaming Show is where we will bring you the latest happening every morning across the nation and even outside the shores of Nigeria. And we'll talk about the headline stories and a few other stories that might interest us. But today is a special edition where we'll talk about the happenings and then we include major stories from the world of sports. And this morning we'll be talking a whole lot about what's happening in the world of sports. In a couple of days back, a lot has happened. We see the Ballon d'Or award, and a few matches have been played across the globe. I will talk about them this morning. But before we begin the discussions on the sports, it's our norm to look at the headlines of the stories this morning. And after looking at the headlines that arrived earlier, we'll come back to the studio and discuss those headlines intensively. All right, but to do this morning, I'm not going to do it alone. I have in the studio with me Mr. Raphael Oja Okomo. Mr. Raphael is a social and sports commentator. Mr. Raphael, good morning and
Good
welcome to the
morning,
show.
good morning, and thank you for having me again.
All right, thank you for being here. Also joining us virtually all the way from Delta State, Nigeria, is Comrade Abraham Soko. Comrade Abraham Soko is a political and sports analyst. Mr. Abraham, good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Ebuka. I'm happy to join you this morning.
All right, thank you. Welcome to the show. Viewers, please remember you can join this conversation by calling the numbers showing on your screen and equally sending your comment via our various social media handle. It's one thing to be here discussing, and it's another thing to get your own feedback, get your own comments, and have your own views. We all have our different views on different issues. So we'll be glad to have you join the show this morning via our various handles showing on your screen. All right, now we are in the sports segment, and we will be discussing a few happenings across the globe on the sports world. I want to let you know that just a few days ago, we now have a new standing record holder as the winner of the Ballon d'Or. And the Ballon d'Or award is an annual football award for the best players over the previous years, and it was first awarded in 1956, and currently Messi has the highest count with about 8 times. He's the highest record holder with 8 times award, and following behind him is Cristiano Ronaldo, who has won the Ballon d'Or 5 times. And recently, Rodri was crowned the winner of the Ballon d'Or, making him a fresh entry into the records of Ballon d'Or winners, just helping also Man City to be the fourth club in England to have a player to win the Ballon d'Or. But before we continue the discussion on this happening across the sport world, I'd like us to look at the front page of the Punch Sports Extra, and the story on Punch Sports Extra says, knock knock, knock knock, Arokodere bangs Super Eagles door with 8 goals for Genk. All right, that's the story on Punch Sports Extra, and we have that's on the front page and continues. And then page 6 has the story on West Ham plots Lookman's move. West Ham plots Lookman move. Also, 4 EPL clubs battle for Chukwueze. That's still on page 6. Page 6 now still have the story on Saudi Osimhen's next destination. Saudi Osimhen's next destination. And then we have the story on Edo Queens celebrate Ijam Mulusi's Sterling Falcons debut. And then beside that, we have Uchi on Villa and Newcastle Rather. All right, so page 6 also has another story on NFF Louds Flamingos as girls return home dejected. All right, that's I think those girls they did their best at the under 17 Women World Cup. All right, so still there we have Medvedev loses to Poprin at Paris Masters. And Dobis versus Joshua talks stalls as IBF steps in. Page 3 will now have the story on Ballon d'Or. Figo empathizes with Madrid. Below that story, we have on page 4, we have Ten Hag blames Rashford, Casemiro, Anthony for United failure. I think that it goes beyond that. This whole battle started between Ten Hag and Cristiano Ronaldo back then. Alright, so page 5 has the story on Arteta vows to keep annoying rivals with injury updates. And finally, we have on page 4, Palmer tells Liverpool contract decision. Alright, back here in the studio, we'll now discuss. But before we start discussing the foreign stories, I would like to read out some of the local Nigerian sports stories. It says Musa knocks NPFL officiating, calls for referees reform, and Swan, NFF, PFAN are members of the National Sports Commission, and fans loud. We've seen that fans loud flamingos despite their World Cup exit. And we have the match AFCON qualifiers. We have Libya alleged CAF bias considers CAS option, and we also have CAF needs to set teams team reception standard, and that's coming from Gara. Before we begin to talk about this story, I would like to let you know that viewers, please, you can be part of the show this morning by calling the numbers showing on your screen or sending your comment via our various social media handle also showing on your screen. Mr. Raphael, just about this issue between Canopilas and the NFF, the sanction that was passed on them with a 2 million fine on them. I don't know. And then Musa has come to say that the officiating, the Nigerian referee mode of operation or way that most referees officiate matches is not the standard, and he has also come to tell the NFF to please look into this team of referees that we use for our local Nigerian professional league. That a lot of them needs to be reformed. There's need for reformation in the Nigerian professional football league refereeing or officiating mode. So I don't know what's your view about what Musa has said. Is it true that our referees today need to be reformed? Is there like we talked about when we were talking about the price of pump price, you made mention of corruption. Is corruption also eating deep into our professional football system?
What I would say concerning the issue is this: first and foremost, I wish our friend was here, Prince was here to speak on, because he's one of them also. But then again, no matter what happens on the pitch, I think Musa as a professional player must learn to comport himself, because he is someone who has been out there in Europe, done it, and is back home, and a lot of people are looking up to him to, do you understand, get some level of experience. So I want to believe that whatever it is that the FA has done to Canopilas or to Musa himself to slam some fine on them is the right thing to do at the moment. If there are some issues like that has come up, I think there are right channels with which you go to it. You know, the problem with having these league games, was on this show we're talking about, we're beginning to see away wins. This same Canopilas went to Rangers to beat Rangers 4-3 at home. In fact, in the first half, they had scored 4 goals. So if the ref in the Cathedral, which is Rangers' home ground, was being the normal Nigerian referee, I don't think Canopilas would have had 4 goals in the first half before Rangers came in the second half and tried to pull their weight again. So yes, they are still trying to pull their weight. That's the referees. Of course, nobody's perfect. They're still working towards perfection. And do they need more reform? Yes, I would say so. Because you ask yourself, over the years, we've never had the Nigerian referee contingent go out to even officiate African games, club side, countryside football. It was just this last international window that a Nigerian referee, I think Joseph by name, if I'm not mistaken, was called to take on the Tunisian game. And even after the game, the Tunisians are still complaining. But of course, how African football is. The home team always want to win.
Yeah.
By all means. That's why I said he should have been able to comport himself in the manner of a professional and also be able to hold his people together, because I'm sure the fine that Kano Pillars got was maybe as a result of their maybe unruly behavior or one thing or the other. He should there are ways to go about these things, and I think that's the channel that he should have followed, or the club should have followed. He should be speaking for the club. They have a spokesperson for the club, and like I said, yes, the referees still need more trainings so that they're exposed to how things are being done recently. So once in a while, we can also not see our referee going out of the shores of Nigeria to officiate games.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Raphael. Comrade, I want to come to you now. And Mr. Raphael has said that our referees need reform. We still need steady reformation, and we need steady training, steady upgrading, and a whole lot to bring our referees to the par. Just to put that together, I want to ask: do you think the new sports NSC chairman, who is Mr. Alhaji Shehu Diko, will be able to bring all these things together? We have, the Sports Commission has a whole lot under its umbrella. We have all the sporting activities under the Sports Commission. Do you think Mr. Shehu Diko has plan or has the ability to harness all the potentials we have in our sports world, having in consideration that just about almost 16 or 6 years ago, he was part of the team of who did a pro bono job about how to reform our sports activity or sports economy in Nigeria. So what do you think about this whole thing, considering the fact that Musa said our referees need reformation, and now we have a new chairman of the National Sports Commission in Nigeria?
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Ebuka. I would want to start by saying that I'm very, very glad that the MPFL fined Kano Pillars and their players for that particular comment made by Ahmed Musa. The reason why I'm saying this is because I believe that there are modalities in expressing such grievance. The standard, even in the developed world, the Premier League, is La Liga, and the other leagues that we watch in Europe, they have this controversial officiating sometimes. Even Mr. Raphael will bear me witness that sometimes I've come in as witnessed this kind of bias and controversial officiating sometimes, and despite the fact that these leagues, they have VAR. So now, even with VAR, the visual technology and all that, they are still trying to get their act together. There are still a lot of gray areas, and this is in Europe. Now we're coming back to our shores, and we are seeing our referees, our officiators. They are working almost handicapped. They don't have this visual technology, and they're actually doing their best. So for you to come out in that manner, having lost a game, and start criticizing the refs, I don't think it is acceptable. I don't think it is acceptable. I believe as a professional footballer, Musa Ahmed should have known better. This is not to say that we have the best referees in Nigeria. This is not to say that the officiating, the MPFL does not need reforms. This is not to say that. I believe that we can actually improve and do much more. I also want to commend our immediate past Minister of Sports, Eno. I know why I would want to commend him. I know we had a very abysmal performance in the Olympic Games, but this was a person, a minister that really communicated with Nigerians. He was willing to come and tell Nigerians and give an explanation. Sometimes, okay, some people will debate that sometimes the explanations, they are just talk and all that, but he was willing to engage, and I believe that this is a good one. The whole saga we had with Libya and all that, he came out, he spoke of I called this, I called that, I called Kava, and this will make Nigerians have that faith in him and in the whole sports administration in the country. And I also want to encourage Mr. Diko to actually toe this line. He should engage Nigeria to talk to Nigerians. If he feels that he has challenges, to tell us that, okay, these are the challenges we have, he should engage us. We are very, very reasonable people. You understand? As much as we are very, very combative people that don't want to listen to any sort of reason, we have people that are actually really reasonable, and we actually listen to timelines when it comes to reforms and when it comes to moving our sports in the country forward. So I would want to have faith in Shehu Dikko. I would want to encourage him. I would want to wish him the best as he embark on this journey. Thank you, Mr.
All right, thank you. So, Mr. Raphael, do you think Diko has the ability, just like I asked, and Comrade Soko has given us his view? Do you think he has the all the requirement to harness the potentials we have in our sporting area or sector in Nigeria?
I want to believe that he'll be able to do so, like you rightfully mentioned, that he was part of a team that put up some policies on how to make even the Nigerian League football work. Do you understand me? So, and I stand to be corrected. He worked with some team of experts, but now it's now for him to put those things into use. Excuse me, but let's not forget that it's not about football. I'm talking about sports holistically, the whole of sports in general. So I want to believe that he'll be able to pull his weight, like Comrade Soko rightfully said. Minister John Eno was in the forefront of everything that was happening, trying to make sure things worked, and he wasn't one of those who shy away from explaining or giving what's it called reasons for why this didn't work or that didn't work, apologize when he needs to apologize, and also be in the forefront when he needs to be in the forefront, as in the case of the game against Nigeria and Libya, how the team was treated. You could hear him speak with so much passion as to say, you cannot do this to my people. Do you understand me? So I want to believe that Diko would be able to pull his weight and do that which is needed to bring our sports to where we used to be. Do you understand me? Because Nigeria is one of the countries in the forefront, even if not just in Africa, but also in the world. Because we are a force to reckon with in the world in any sports that we decide to put our heads into. So I believe that with his wealth of experience, he should be able to come up with something good.
All right, thank you. So, looking forward, we believe that the issue that we've seen in the last couple of weeks will not repeat itself. I will have the issue of some issues with our Olympics team, issues with the coach appointing the coach the Super Eagles, and a few others. But anyway, moving away from that, we would like to inform you that our girls are back from the under 17 Women's World Cup. The Flamingos tried their best. Those girls we're just talking about harnessing potentials. I see a lot of potentials in those girls, and also to let us know that our Wafu B team also defeated Ghana yesterday 2-1, and they're moving on ahead. So let's talk about the performances of these two teams of the national sports teams. We have the Flamingos, and then we have the Wafu B team. And I want to ask you, Comrade Abraham Soko, what's your overview? What's your review on the performance of our girls at the under 17 Women's World Cup?
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Eluka. I would also say that they actually started on a very, very good note. I just felt that we were probably unlucky with our quarter-final draw, because if you look at the fixtures we had, we breezed through the group stage, and we won New Zealand 4-1. They scored 4 against Ecuador, and they also won the Dominican Republic by 1-0. So they were just unfortunate to come against a very, very strong USA team. And we need to also understand that when it comes to women football, US, Canada, and the likes of Japan, these are the very, very the strongest side. So I would believe that they really performed very well. They were impressive. I knew that they were going to be impressive, so I did not have any doubts in their abilities. And if I was asked that, okay, which team did I was really scared of facing, I would still say the USA team. I would have left this particular picture to the finals. So I was actually really gutted that we were dumped out of the World Cup. So I would want to encourage them that they should not be despondent. They should go back and continue to train very hard, and they are going to make it in the very near future. Thank you, Mr. Luka.
All right, thank you, comrade. Raphael, do you remember that in the previous the competition, the under-17 competition before this one that happened a few years back, the Nigerian also knocked out the United States team in
On penalty
penalties. Yes,
shootouts.
and this edition, the US team has
They've gotten their own pound of flesh.
gotten, yes, exactly, have come to retaliate on what they got on the previous edition. So well, just putting together, we were talking about harnessing the potentials in our sports world. They're putting together this Wafubi team on the 20 team and our Flamingos on the 17 women team. What do you see for the future? Let's say prophesy for them to the future?
Professor, one thing about age grade competition is that if you don't do well, that's the last they see of you. If you don't do well, that's the last they see of you. If you check Nigeria's under 17 team, check the Awoni era, the Osime era, the Chukwueze era, the
Even
Mikel Obi and the likes, you discover that okay, in the whole team, you just get maybe a handful that will transition into maybe the senior team, and these things happen only when those teams excel. It only happens when those teams excel, and when they don't excel, you don't hear from any of them anymore. So that's one thing that really hurts me with these girls, because they had it very easy in the group. They had it very easy, scoring 9 goals and conceding only 1, and one would think that they will go all the way to surpass even their last record of
even at the
bronze.
qualifying stage, they also had good.
Do you understand? And they had some very, very good players. But I believe that the transitioning of these girls will be a very easy one, because if you go through the last friendly matches that were played by the Super Falcons recently, they played Algeria twice, beating them in the first leg 2-0, then the second leg 4-1. You notice that the bulk of the players, excuse me, the bulk of the players in that team were from the home base. In fact, the lady you read her name, Jalusi, scored a hat-trick in the second game. She is from Edo Queens. Do you understand me? Most of the regulars were not invited for the friendly games, and these girls were still able to do well. So I believe that they should begin to work with these girls, not allowing these talents go to waste. There, you have a future for your senior national team. And to the Wafu B team had a different path to the finals. For the under 17 girls, the Flamingos, they just scaled through, and then just like the Super Eagles in 2019, were knocked out do you understand? Yeah. Why the Wafu B team lost their first game. They lost their first game against Burkina Faso and needed to win against Cote d'Ivoire, because they were just 3 in the group. They needed to win against Cote d'Ivoire to be able to come out of the group. And seeing that they were the defending champion coming to play, losing their first game, so they got a good one against Cote d'Ivoire by winning 2-1. Went to met with Niger, blew past Niger 3-1, and everybody was like, "Is Nigeria and Ghana all over again?" Do you understand me? I would also want to believe that what happened to the ladies, kudos to them, was maybe the whole winning got to them. After beating 1, 2, 3, more like anybody that comes our way. But unlike the Wafu beat team, after losing their first game, it's like Oga, if you don't set up things. So either ways, the two teams did well, represented themselves very well. But like I always say, when you have age grade teams who don't excel as they're expected to, you lose them most of the time. And I want to plead with the Football Federation that they should look into those girls and see how they can transition them into maybe the under 20 team of the Falconets, while those who are still under the age of that 17 are still kept, infusing other new young blood into the team.
All right, thank you so much. So we're talking so much about the happenings of within the sports world in Nigeria. Now, we want to go beyond the shores of Nigeria. We want to talk about the latest happening, and we now know that since the inception of the Ballon d'Or in 1956, that only three teams in the EPL has won have a record of a player winning the Ballon d'Or. Now that record has been changed. A fourth team has joined the queue of Blackpool, Liverpool, and then Man United. Now Man City has joined that team, and Rodri has been crowned the winner of the Ballon d'Or 2024. I missed all the saga that had happened, and I missed everything that we hear. A lot of things, a lot of stories has been said so far about the things that led to the final announcement of Rodri as the winner of the Ballon d'Or. But I want to say it myself. I have my guests still in the studio here this morning to make say their views about the 2024 Ballon d'Or. And also, I would like to hear from you, my viewer, if by calling in on the number shown on your screen or sending your comment via our various social media handle. We want to talk about the 2024 Ballon d'Or. And so, do I start from Comrade or do I start from Rafa? Do I start from Comrade or do I start from Comrade? Let's start with you. Comrade, what is your view or what's your review of the 2024 Ballon d'Or award that has been awarded to Rodri? Do you think he deserves it?
Okay, thank you very, very much. I would want to start by saying that there is nothing controversial about winning the Ballon d'Or.
I think
And I will tell you why. In football is a sport, and in every sport, there's what you call sportsmanship. You get to in as much as you feel that you deserve something, your club feels that they deserve it, and there's another football player that plays the same professional game with you. You should be able to get out of your feelings, go to the occasion, and actually support that particular winner, whether you win or not. And we should also come to understand that people are talking about agenda, narrative, and all that. We also need to understand that when I look at the criteria, people that vote for the Ballon d'Or, I think I saw, I might be wrong, I think 100 journalists. Those are the people that are qualified to vote. So are you saying that 100 journalists actually gang up against you to deprive you from winning?
Yes.
So I just feel that some of these old controversies, these old narratives, I think they're actually uncalled for. I understand that Vinicius feels that he deserves it. A lot of professional football players feels that he deserves it. But we shouldn't take away from the fact that Rodri is also a football player, and he also performed very, very well in the just concluded season that they used as the criteria and the judgment for deciding these awards. So I felt that this would have been a very good opportunity for footballers to put together and say, okay, in as much as okay, we support each other. The footballers should support each other. We understand that there is this competitive edge, like any other profession. Everybody wants to compete. Everybody wants that rivalry and all that. But when it comes to this sort of awards, I believe that we should have as much sportsmanship as possible. Thank you, Mr. Editor.
All right, thank you. Just before you go, I would like to find out. You made mention of 100 journalists being part of those who were in the voting team. I want to find out from you, what is the qualification of a journalist or of those being picked as journalists to be part of those who voted? What's the qualification of journalists that were selected to vote?
I actually don't know that. So what I know is that it's a jury of journalists. Are you getting it? And I believe that, as you rightly said, there's a criteria for you to be part of those particular journalists. I don't believe that it's a situation where I believe that the award is a French award. I don't believe that it's only a French journalists that are allowed to vote. I don't believe that. So I believe that it's something that we can actually do research in the studio and we can actually debate it better.
All right, so just like you said, this award is a French award, but this year we see the collaboration between the UEFA and the French side. And so, well, do you think the people who were or the journalists or the team that were selected to do the voting were or not biased? Because I think I'm going to feel that maybe the voters are one-sided. You have more persons from this side and lesser persons from this side. That is why the voting result is the way it was.
What I would want to say is that it would have even be good for UEFA, for the body, the Ballon d'Or body, to come out and say, okay, what is the percentage of votes that Rodri got, the percentage of votes that Vinicius got? Probably Vinicius won probably with a little over maybe 5 votes or 10 votes. Rodri won over with a percentage of over 5 or 10 votes. So we don't know these details. But what I would want to say, it is very difficult for a jury of 100 journalists to gang up against someone, and it's very difficult for UEFA to come and say, okay, we don't want to give it to this particular person. Yes, we understand that racism is part of the institution of Europe and European football. It's something that we cannot take away. But I believe that the world is evolving, and it is really, and I believe that if you come to the Premier League, if you come to the other leagues in Europe, they are actually trying to stamp out racism from European football. I think in the recent past, cheering Valencian fans were even jailed for assaulting and singing racist chants towards same Venetians. So European football, UEFA, they are actually trying to stamp out racism from football in Europe. So it is far-fetched to say that the journalists were racist. That is why that there is no award Venetians. So I believe that some of these things are not actually too necessary. Thank you, Mr. Edgar.
All right, thank you, Comrade. Mr. Raphael, while Comrade was making his own views and giving us his own comments, I could see your body language, and I know that most of the things he said, you differ. You want to differ from it. And now we look at the cases of UEFA having an issue with Real Madrid against the Super League or Super Cup competition or something, and they were now talking about racism. It's a sad thing that at the beginning of every match or anything, we take a bow, or the players take a bow against racism, a kneel against racism and everything, and still at the end of the tunnel, we still have the act of racism waiting for us at the end of the tunnel. So let me have your own view about the 2024 Ballon d'Or, the winner Rodri and the first runner up Vinicius Junior.
One thing about Ballon d'Or award is that it's always shrouded in controversies. Always shrouded in controversies. And every now and then, I went to a school that before they pass you as a graduate, they tell you this student has been found worthy in learning and character. That's one of the criteria with which they said they gave this award, your character and the likes. Somebody now jokingly said, Rodri will be talking every time for football field. This ain't no way they do. But then you ask yourself, over the years, have there been controversies in giving this Ballon d'Or award? There was a year that everyone thought it was the turn of Thierry Henry, and then Pavel Nedved came for it. 2002, 2003, 2004. And then the year that everybody said, oh, Schneider, this award goes to Schneider. In a year where the only thing Messi had going for him that year were his goals. All the tournaments that both Messi and Schneider were in, Schneider came out tops. Even at the World Cup, Schneider was the joint top scorer at the World Cup. And I don't think Schneider was even in the top 3. And you ask yourself, how? And then in 2020, the year of the lockdown,
Lewandowski.
where everybody, even where everybody was locked in, leagues were played, Champions League was played, everything went on. When it was the time for the Ballon d'Or, they say because of the lockdown, they are calling off the Ballon d'Or.
And deny Lewandowski.
And the next year, Lewandowski was still going to win it again. They gave it to, I think it was given to Messi, and then they created a new award and gave it to Lewandowski so that he doesn't feel it that much. And then the year we thought that Haaland was going to win it because of his goals that he had scored, the same criteria with which Messi won in 2010. Now the goalpost was shifted again to something that was no longer about the goals. And if you watch that Ballon d'Or event night, when they were about to announce
Rodri, people were
Rodri, you are hearing Vini. I think for once we should be able to separate football from sentimental issues. I am not a Vinicius fan. Sometimes when I watch him play, I get angry because sometimes he leaves the football and he's sharing on the fan. The ball never even reach me where you don't the ginger fan. Play ball. Do you understand me? But then you ask, is he a good player? Yes. He might not be doing well at home, maybe in Brazil. But you and I know Vinicius is the one that is carrying Real Madrid at the moment. And I think the whole team got wind of the information that he's not going to win it. And that's why they boycotted the event, which goes to tell you that this award is beginning to lose
its value.
Because if every year we begin to shift the goalpost as to how you choose your winner, how you choose this, how you choose that, that's to tell you that the award doesn't no longer hold water anymore. And him coming to say it's because he's fighting against racism. What day was that? I think when they played Barca Madrid. Do you understand me? I think there was still a racist whatever. Not even against him this time. I think it was against the Barca player. And this was still Vini still fighting for that person. At least in some of these cases, you need a voice. You need somebody who is ready to damn the consequences. Because most of those people, like he rightfully mentioned, Arsenal suffering from officiating in the EPL. And I believe this is a result of the fact that one of them, Ateta, came out and spoke about it, and since then, he has not seen the last of it. But then you still need somebody who comes out. But we need to take away. Somebody said the FIFA award is coming. You might be shocked to see FIFA award. FIFA give it to Vinicius because it's in FIFA award that you find them giving a goalkeeper the best goalkeeper, and then in the FIFA 11 is another goalkeeper that is in the goal post. So you begin to see all these things go back and forth. So I want to say this: award or not, you're good. So people shouldn't allow these things take. I remember one time Ronaldo also had issues with Sepp Blatter. Do you understand me? When he expected that he was supposed to win a particular Ballon d'Or and it was given to somebody else, and there was a rift between him and that body, and we never saw the end of it until Blatter left. So I think we should have a clear criteria of how you pick. Forget about the journalists. Some of these journalists, I believe, pick their winner based on popularity. Because if we're looking at this so-called criteria, if Lionel Messi won it in 2010 because of the number of goals he scored, why is Lewandowski not winning it? Why is Haaland not winning it? Why did you get to a point where we now see your character comes to play? What do you consider character in football? Somebody say that the character comes because if not, Zidane for winner.
We also had the records of our own JJ Okocha playing all the whole thing he knows how to do, and at the end of it, he didn't win any award, but still remains the African
one of the
desired,
most celebrated legends in African football.
All right, thank you, gentlemen, for your time on the show this morning. We have we still have a whole lot to talk about, but time is of the essence, and we don't have all the time in the world to discuss these issues. And so, just a quick rundown on the Carabao Cup that has been played, and now to the quarterfinals. We now have the draws. We have Man U against Tottenham. We have Newcastle against Brentford. We have Southampton against Liverpool, and we have Arsenal against Crystal Palace. So quickly, in a jiffy, I want to get your view of who is going to proceed to the next stage. Comrade, I'll get your view, and then I'll get from Mr. Raphael, because I see there's no Chelsea logo on that list of players. So I want to get your view first, comrade. What's your pick on the list from just a quick?
Okay, thank you very much, Ebuka. We just dive straight into my predictions. I feel that Tottenham against Man U. I feel that Tottenham is going to progress. They play very exciting football, very fast counter attack, and we saw that how they dumped Man City yesterday from the Carabao Cup. Arsenal, personally, I feel that Arsenal is one of the strongest teams in Europe right now. So I see them beating almost anybody. So they're going to beat Crystal Palace. Newcastle, Brentford is going to be very, very dicey. So I wouldn't even know it can go either ways. Then the last one, Southampton against Liverpool. Okay, I see Liverpool taking that particular fixture. So what I've discovered about this Carabao Cup, I feel that most of these teams don't take it seriously. They just use it to feed the academic players, and you cannot really fault them because these coaches, these players, they have lots of games to play, so they have to prioritize. So we don't actually get the best from these cup games. Thank you, Mr. Ibuka.
All right, thank you, comrade. Then, Mr. Raphael, over to you now. What's your pick on the quarterfinals of the Carabao Cup?
First off, before the draw was done, I saw some people post on social media say, "Please give us Man U, give us Man U."
Arsenal,
We want Man U. Do you understand me? Exactly. Because of probably the crisis that is happening right now. Well, Tottenham against Man U, one would think that because Man U won 5-2 yesterday, they are ready. I doubt if they are ready. So I'll still give it to Tottenham. Anytime I'll pick Arsenal over Crystal Palace. So that one is not even negotiable. Then you have Brentford against Newcastle. Like Comrade said, it could go either way. But Newcastle should not be too relaxed because that Brentford team with Mbomo doing well and Wissa back, I think it could go either ways. Then you have Liverpool, Southampton. We could have a shocker there too. We could have a shocker, but still Liverpool.
Yeah, I remember a time when Southampton had Michu at the forefront there. All right, thank you, viewers, for being part of the show this morning. Thank you for all your comments. Thank you for all your you always been there for us on the show. But before we go, I'd like to read this comment from a viewer that has been here on one of our media handle, and it's all about fuel subsidy proceed. He said he was asking, your guest was asking, where is the proceed after fuel subsidy merchandise? I read from Peter's handle about the plan to purchase a new aircraft for vice president. They are also planning for 2027 election, and these monies will be spent corruptically, unwise, and politically unjust. Tinubu's government will milk this nation, and nothing will happen if it's his turn, remember, and he must completely complete his 8th tenure even without your vote. Or these comments are solely of that of the viewer and not the opinion of Advent Cable Network Nigeria, and so everybody is free to his or her own opinion. All right, thank you, viewers. This is where we're already cutting on the show today, and I want to specially appreciate our very own comrade Abraham Soko, who has always been joining us all the way from Delta State. Thank you so much, comrade, for being on the show this morning.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ibuka.
All right, have a lovely day. And Mr. Raphael, back to you in the studio here. Thank you for spending your time to queue at the fuel station, buy your fuel, and still find time to come to the show. On the show this morning. Thank you very much, comrade. All right, to you viewers, I want to tell you this morning that whatever you do, pray for the ability to see your own sin, your own shortcomings, your own mistakes, and your own hypocrisy. Never lose sight of that. Never get carried away of pointing fingers at that you forget about yourself. There's a local palace that says in Nigeria, when a finger is pointed, the other how many fingers? I think we have 5 fingers. When one is pointed at something, the others point back at you. So ensure that you look at yourself clearly. The Bible says, remove the log in your eye before you want to remove the one from your brother or sister's eyes. Until next time, thank you. I still remain Ike Chukwu Ebuka. Bye for now.